I'm gonna keep this short and sweet because this week I got to meet up with one of the greatest guitar players in the freaking universe. The mighty Mr. Mark Tremonti from Alterbridge and obviously Tremonti. And you might know his guitars just a little bit. So this week, it's a two-parter, so stay tuned. But this week, we get into all things guitar, what it's like working with Myles Kennedy, what it's like writing with Alterbridge, and don't mind any of the noise in the background, that's just Wolfgang Van Halen sound checking. Check it out. Hi, I'm Benny Goodman, I'm the Neurotic Guitarist, and I'm here with one of my favorite guitarists on the planet, Mark Tremonti. How are you, brother?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. I'm so excited to see some new Alterbridge, this new record. Can you talk to me about it?
Yeah.
I heard that one song, man, and it goes from like acoustics to like crazy soaring, I mean, Myles Kennedy just by itself, but then the heaviest breakdowns that are almost deceptive, like, what am I listening to?
Hey, we like to tell a story, man. We like to take dynamics and throw them into a song and make it tell a story, and you know, sometimes these longer songs, you can really mess with the dynamics a lot.
So do you find that like writing a longer song, because I know people used to say, let's write a single.
Yeah.
Do you care about that
No.
at all?
I gave up on trying to fit any format 10 years ago. Yeah, it's just not, you know, when you put out a record, you got to have those 3.5-minute songs that get pushed to radio, but I stopped worrying about that, you know, because it just paints you into a corner, you know. So write whatever you want. If you need a single, hand it over to the radio people to edit it if they want it, you know, but hopefully that's not the case, but we just want to be artists and do our thing.
But do you even know what a single sounds like anymore? Because I feel like, you know, there's so many songs I hear, I'm like, oh, that could be the single, and it's something completely different. So is it liberating just not caring about that?
It is, yeah. I mean, it was definitely, you know, you just want to do whatever inspires you at the moment, not what inspires the pocketbook of somebody trying to sell you, you know, just be an artist.
Now, one of the things I've really noticed, and it's really progressed over the last few albums, you and Myles, the way that you write these cool chord progressions to just up, everything's unexpected to me, and I love that. I know Myles is a Jedi guitarist. Mm-hmm. Who's writing the melody for the guitar part, or the guitar part for the melody, or is it just like a symbiotic thing that now you guys know each other so well?
Both. We both write complete parts and complete songs. We just share, you know, we dump everything into a Dropbox file, and then we play them as a band, and then we, like, half the record Myles wrote, half the record I wrote, you know. So he writes guitar parts, I write vocal parts, you know. It's the same. We just do all the writing we can.
So have you like removed the ego completely? Because like, I mean, I have to imagine when Myles Kennedy's singing, one of the greatest singers of all time, when you're showing him your vocals, do you guys have any ego in it at all, or is it just like you're kind of like barking ideas at each other to get it out?
No, I mean, we just want to, you know, put the best foot forward. I'm the one who's been dragging Myles into the solo thing on our records. You know, I was like, you're too good to not feature yourself as a guitar player.
If the Ides of March have taught me nothing, that guy can shred.
Oh yeah, so it was a shame that on the first record he didn't have any leads, and then I just slowly but surely was like, why don't you do this one, do that one. And now it's just the thing where I do vocals, he does leads. It's, you know, this is a band where we can, I think, you know, do as many different things to make it as, you know, give as much variety as possible.
Now, it's very interesting hearing a lead guitarist saying, I wish my singer would do more solos.
Yeah.
Do you think that the concept of a lead guitarist in a band has changed? And certainly, does that uphold in Alterbridge?
I just remember when I was a kid, when I saw a couple bands. I think one of them was Queensryche, Thin Lizzy, you know, bands that had more than one lead guitar player. That always impressed me. You know, when you had that much talent in a band where you had these multiple lead players as a kid, and you didn't know, you're like, wow, that band's just oozing with talent. I want to, you know, it was inspiring. So when you see Myles as good as he is, why not showcase that talent? Because we don't play the same. We're very different players. So when he plays something, it's going to fill a space that I don't fill.
So what's the next thing for you? Because I know when we talked about on 2020, our podcast with Corey behind the camera over there, you have like a crazy system of writing riffs, putting riffs with chorus. Like you're like the Encyclopedia Britannica of riffs. Like, are those going to come out, or are you going to be like Prince and Eddie Van Halen, where you're just like, nah, I have 16 albums and I'm just going to leave it here for me?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just too many things to get them all out. You know, if I was better at making demos, which I'm going to try, I'm making an effort now. I just ordered a new laptop. The laptop I have now is falling apart, and it won't keep up with any of my programs. So I have a laptop sitting for me at home when I get off tour. I'm going to get back into getting better at making good recordings, and then maybe I'll just keep on spitting out minute-long ideas that, you know, maybe I could put it on Instagram or something, see how the reaction is. If the reaction is good, then I can finish the song.
I have to tell you, not to interject myself into your interview, but as people that both have recording studios, having learned how to do our own demos, where like I can take an idea and we can just turn it into the final song.
Yeah.
It's so awesome, because sometimes you get this demo-itis where you catch a little bit of magic, but then something's not as good. So if you build that process with your crazy writing skills, dude, you're gonna be a monster.
I hope, man.
I'm telling you, bro.
Technology's never been my friend. I learned how to run Pro Tools and all that stuff. I made all the demos for the first Alterbridge record, but it changes so much. You know, when I came back to Pro Tools after the next record, technology had changed so much. I just didn't want to keep up with it anymore. So I just make cheesy little, one mic recordings of live takes for my demos now.
But do you go back and listen to it, and regardless of any of the quality or anything, do you hear, you're like, that's magic? Do you know where the magic is, even if it's a phone recording that sucks?
Sometimes, I'll do a vocal or something. I'm like, wow, I wish I could have gotten that on the record. But like on the demos I did for the One Day Remains record, I did a song called Fall Again that I actually did for the Tremonti band. But I actually took the actual guitar intro for that and copy and pasted it and put it into the real version of it, because the effect that I had on there was awesome. It was like I think it was Omnisphere or something that I had through the guitar. It was just it wasn't Omnisphere. It was something crazy, some crazy program that just sounded awesome. I couldn't find the effect, so I just copied it over.
So I remember when we were talking to you that you have like a layer of amps and guitars.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm always curious, how much is in your hands and how much is in your amps and gear? I mean, because Tremonti PRSs, I mean, I have to think that that's one of the best-selling PRS guitars.
Yeah.
I mean, how much is it the gear and how much is it you?
I think it's 80% fingers. You know, I think when you hear a lot of players, I've seen a lot of great players that do amp demos and guitar demos and pedal demos, and a lot of the stuff sounds pretty similar, you know, even if it's different companies putting out different products, and it just shows it has a lot to do with the player and their fingers.
Well, I can tell you, because I have a Tremonti PRS, and it sounds shitty when I play it, but then when I hear you play it, it sounds awesome.
Oh, come on.
Why don't you smash that subscribe button already?